Hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 6 of the Savage Lands Season 2. We have left Shinmistum at the last episode on a very good prospect. We have set up a basic city core that can sustain up to 40 people right now, and the whole system can be easily expanded and is easily defended. We have a central staircase that connects to the rest of the fortress. We can easily set up a bridge or any other security mechanism to make sure that any intruders will have a hard time entering the central base. We also have made the most brilliant discoveries while striking a huge and enormous hematite vein, which translates into iron for the Grey Fortress. So my friends, today we are going to do the preparations that are necessary. I really hope that during this episode we are going to meet new friends that will migrate from the Dwarven Kingdom to us, because the only thing that Shinmistum now really needs is hands, hammers, and the will to fight on. So my friends, now we have already set up a nice environment here. The mines are deep and rich, and we are going to go for today for the first organization things that I can do here while I'm waiting for other things. So I came up with the idea that I want to restructure my masons or my stonecutters area a little bit, because you know we are going to work with a lot of andesite and gabbro, and when I say a lot I mean a lot, and then a bit more. So our stockpiles here are, this is a mixed stockpile, as you see. It accepts everything and nothing. The only thing that it has to be stone. So what I'm going for today is going to be basically the preparation for bigger things to come. So our workshops, and as you see here, I'm crazily expanding right now. Every one of these bays will hold a stonecutter's workshop ultimately, and yes, I do intend to have that many. So these are for workshops. Now we're going to set up storage zones for specific stone types. So I've made a very good experience with this system, and basically we're going to do something similar like we're doing down here, where we're also filtering gold, tetrahedrite, and now in this zone we're going to filter out the iron-bearing ores. This way your crafters will have a easy way in hauling out things that they require. So here we're going for hematite, limonite, and magnetite, which are the 3 iron-bearing ores. So they're going to be stored here, and we're going to allow those guys to use wheelbarrows on their stockpiles. So this makes it every wheelbarrow you configure here also defines how many haulers can be busy and in these districts. So we do need some more wheelbarrows, but that's never a bad thing. Wheelbarrows are entirely useful. So we're going to order 10 more of these and go back to the surface to procure valuable wood, because wood is going to be really the most important resource here for Shinmistum now that we have secured access to metal, the metals that we require. We now need fuel, because magma seems to be really far away for us. The next best thing is charcoal, because we haven't found any bituminous coal or anything like that. We have to resolve on charcoal. So I'm digging out some passages here, and let's do these stockpile zones. This one for andesite and the other one for gabbro. And if necessary, we're going to expand these, of course. I've made such good experience with these setups, because this way your haulers will refill the stockpiles and your crafters will do the crafting. They're already going to take long enough to haul one boulder from the stockpile to their workshop. There is no need to make the job any harder for these poor guys. So let's set up more workshops here, and then we're going to go for a different venue, because you know there's a lot of work to do. So there we go. I leave one open bay. No, I don't need to leave one open bay here because I have 2 open bays there. So I am going to carve another storage hole over here. I don't know yet what's going to store in there ultimately, but I do know that one thing for sure. I will need another stone type sooner or later, because I will build with something else. Alright, so these expansions here will help us to come a long way, and we are going to go here, and I'm going to expand on this, because I'm going to bring up more charcoal furnaces here, because obviously that's the way to go here in Brightness Portals. We don't really have access to coal, so the wood has to be transformed into coal. Brilliant. So this is getting somewhere. The only problem that we're still suffering from here is our low count of dwarven hands. There's always work being left. If you check out those workshops, it's a mess. So for example, none of the charcoal has been hauled anywhere. These items, they don't get hauled anywhere, even though we have huge stockpiles. Let me check. Ah, yeah, I disabled hauling, so it's hauling season now, friends. And we're going to make those mining jobs a tad bit more important, if necessary, though. Alright, beautiful. So let's check back on our work orders and see what we have here on the list. So, we are making andesite blocks, and I've seen that I have a couple of hundred of these in store. So, since I'm going to use a lot of these for work projects, I'm going to store some of these andesite blocks up here. This will take a while until my holders find time to store and stockpile them here, but the cool part about it is we're going to have much less walking time in between our construction jobs here this way. So let's spend those resources while we got them, you know. That fortress doesn't build itself. Oh man, I'm already looking so forward to the next dwarves moving in, because right now I have so many plans, you know. It's not about me not having enough plans, but I'm literally tuning myself down right now to make sure that things get done somehow, you know. Okay, beautiful. Judging from what I see here so far, I think it's going to be only a couple years more until we have finally the fighting force together to bring some raids upon those filthy gobs, which will be a really, really exhilarating moment. Okay, so let's check back to our situation here. What I personally dislike a lot right now is the fact that we don't have any real fresh water supply for the fortress. And this is something that I want to change here as well. You know, I don't really feel well without a cistern of sorts. So we're going to go and make us one here. So let's do this. This will be a bit of a long-term-ish project here. But in the long run, we're just going to store a lot of water in this basin here. Oh, or never mind, we won't. I need to be wiser than that. So for a cistern, of course, I need to dodge all my workshop areas. So we're going to go, let's see, that's looking good. Well, here, let's make sure that it's really far away from any other area there. So this is just the starting blueprint for something bigger, because I'm well aware of the fact that we're going to have to work on this project a little bit longer. But, you know, we only got 18 people, so I can't bring up too many projects at once, can I? But I have a good feeling that it won't be taking us too much longer until we see more folks joining us. But we already see that the building blocks for the fortress are being cut relentlessly, and this area here is seeing some completion as well. I like it. Beautiful. So I'm gonna feel only really well and safe as soon as the lid for this fortress has been completed. Before that, I don't know, I feel rather angsty around my fortress here, because anything could charge through here, and I don't like the feeling of that. But we're getting there. The roof here is making brilliant progress. And I'm honestly quite surprised that only 18 people are getting so much heavy lifting done here. I really didn't expect us to get that far before the big wave of migration hits town, honestly. So let's see if we can't prepare our work orders for the things to come here. So let's see. We do have doors, we do have beds. Brilliant. We do have tables, we do have thrones. Alright. We don't have cabinets or chests yet, though. But I need to designate a rock for these. So let's do a little bit of browsing. What do we have here? So we can access dolomite, can we? Or is that always a wet stuff? Nah, here. There's lots of dolomite, as much as I want to. Brilliant. So that means we could go for that hue here. I think this is a nice patch of color for the otherwise gray fortress. You know, it's not too crass. It's a very subtle tone. We could go for chert as well. That would play along nicely with gray tone as well. And as you see here, I'm really right now. I'm really doing fashion shopping here. So I think I'm going to go for rhyolite and chert. These harmonize way better with a gray tone. Dolomite is pinkish, and I don't want to go into a pinkish direction here. If anything, we add in granite. Yeah. So granite, chert, rhyolite. You see? And we already have much more things to do here. So let's do this. I personally love to have my my palette loaded. You know, this helps me so much to make my workshops more efficient. This is insane how much of a benefit this is. So I don't want to go this way because I want to be able to expand my stockpiles for blocks. So we're going to go down that route. So we got chert. That's going to be rhyolite. And that's going to be granite. Yeah. Then we got a nice colored palette. And look, the mountain is rewarding our endeavors with some juicy, juicy amethysts. Wonderful. That's good. Alright, the winter is reaching its end. Only about 15 more days we have to endure. I can't wait for this place to really kick into gear. Right now, this is just like planting seeds, you know? We're getting somewhere, and it's clear that this place will evolve into something really, really beautiful, but it will take some more time because we're lacking the workforce right now. But once we're done, brightness portals will churn out warriors. I'm looking forward to this. We're going to cleanse this whole southern mess of a continent. I don't know if brightness portals will be able to do that all on its own, or if we're gonna do another war fortress. But honestly, I don't plan to. I feel like I was pondering lately, and I felt like Season 3 should be about securing the continent from these gobs in the north. That would be a perfect Season 3, because we have a reclaimable fortress up there. That's totally what I want to do. But, you know, just some foreshadowing. What I do see here is we do have everything we require. I love it. So, chert. There goes rhyolite. One of my favorite things about this game is that the longer I play it, the more chilled out everything feels, you know? It's the learning phase is steep, yes, but once you are past that, you are rewarded with one of the most beautiful sandboxes that I've ever played. Alright, so we're collecting all the other things that are not fitting into any category up here, so I think we have a good system here running. Probably gonna mix in even some more stoneworkers workshops here, but one day soon. That's gonna be okay for today. Let's expand on this. And like I said, I want to bring up a few more wood-burning furnaces. We do have already 2 carpenters' workshops. That's pretty good. We should add up a bowyer here as well, because, you know, why not? We have the material after all. And so a second wood furnace. I can already foresee that we're going to need that. Good. Looks like this district here is also on a good way. Probably want to connect these a little bit more thoroughly. Let's add in another bay, just for good measure, you know. Probably gonna fill that one day. Probably not. We'll see about that. One thing I've noticed with this game, placeholders are a great thing. They don't hurt you. They're your friends. Okay. So, let's see. The first scraps of, yeah, there's the first hematite. Let's check our stockpiles. Do we already have any iron? No, we don't. So, the first thing that I want to do here to christen or forge properly is I want to make a second anvil, you know? I want to have a second metalsmith's forge, because that's just... I find it very, very necessary here, you know. Great. What's that fight? A kangaroo buck is fighting? I hope it only fell down and it didn't get ripped apart by a lycanthrope. Oh. Always leaving me a little bit angsty when something is just randomly dying somewhere out of unknown reasons. That would be a shame if Shin Mistum would fall prey to a stray lycanthrope. What a tragedy that would be, because this fortress is really magnificent in this regard, because I have so many resources. Compared to its predecessor, Gulf Cobalt, this place is a full of insane wealth, you know. So, yeah. Looks like the kangaroo just tried to climb a tree or something like that. It's surely something like that. It's too early for bigger threats to show up, technically, but practically, you never know. So, oh yeah, the first level of the cistern has been done, so let's do further levels. So, let's see here, this is cavern floor, this is open space, so we do another, here we go. I've made the experience that the safest way to dig cisterns is to only assign one level at a time. This avoids this lowers the danger of cave-ins tremendously. Don't assign too many layers of a cistern at once. It led to really, really unpleasant results on my end. Okay, so I already assigned the wheelbarrow count here, but not there. Pretty sure I need more wheelbarrows before this is over, but whatever. So, last stockpile goes for granite, and yeah, beautiful, beautiful. If I had already more people available, I'd be assigning now more different colors of rock blocks being cut, but as you see here, we're not even able to finish our regular construction jobs up here, so definitely not gonna assign anything new before more people have arrived. It has finally turned spring. We are no longer facing the winter, although the winter is down here in the south. Nothing too scary at all. We've never had frozen water as far as I remember. So things are all good here in Shin Mistum. And it makes me a little bit wary about what's going to be our problems, because, you know, every fortress has problems. If somebody tells you that his fortress has no problems, he's either oblivious, playing on a too low difficulty rating for your personal taste, or he just doesn't have noticed his problems yet. Anyways, we are going to check on out, where did that clay come from? Ah, I bet that was from that weird trade caravan that bugged out on the trade depot. Trade depots sometimes bug. It's just what they do, sadly. Alright, I really would love to assign more jobs to these folks, but I don't dare to. Militia commander. We already have a militia? Ah, yeah, I can't really remember how that came together, but whatever. I'm gonna let that guy wear his fancy helmet all day long if he'd want to. That's fine for me. So there's not much more that I want to add to their bill. Let's probably think about the future of this area here. So we got probably some gabbro blocks that we can lay down here on the floor. Hey, gabbro. Here's all the gabbro we require. I bet that all the different workers in the fortress are so darn busy with block cutting, because block cutting is actually a really time-consuming job, and I've set up so many workshops that there's a good chance that they're just all busy either hauling or chopping blocks. But I personally love to have proper flooring in my fortress by now. Brightness Portals is a much more sophisticated fortress than Gulf Cobalt was. I personally already noticed that. I learned a little bit, a thing or two in between. Yeah, great. You guys are storing your food in your rooms. At least doors keep the miasma inside, so stink in peace. All right. I really hope that we're going to attract migrants soon, because it's so painful to have these huge plans in mind but no people to make them happen. I really would like to do more things right now, but Nasha statue, Statat statues, all right. We yeah, but we don't want to place them down before the room is properly floored. So I figured that probably we want to go for the temples for a tiny splash of color, you know? Probably we don't want to use the grayness of gabbro, but instead I want to rely on, yeah, well, neither the rhyolite nor the chert have been delivered yet. But yeah, chert is more of a brownish tone and rhyolite is more of a yellowish tone. And I really hope that these colors will help us out to brighten up this place a little bit, because I personally feel like temples and areas of public interest can have a little bit of color. Oh yeah, there's another thing that I wanted to do here. That's one good pointer. So I noticed that Shin Mistum has a huge wealth of dogs. So I want to make good use of these dogs and train them, you know? So we're going to carve out a room here, which is going to be our doggy training site. Because, you know, we got so many stray dogs, and you can't just give them war animal training. Here we go. Once they're grown up, they can be all transformed into war dogs. War dogs can then be assigned to a specific dwarf to keep them safe. And if not, they're just roaming around and attacking hostiles wherever you need them in the base. They are wonderful in many different aspects, and they don't require much except for some training. Therefore, good stuff. We definitely want to make good use out of that. But, well, I really feel like the first wave of migration into your fortress comes always much later than I personally like it. So let's dismantle all the leftovers from here. Well, I don't really think that we want those beds here anymore. I'm gonna remove them because I don't want them to spread any negative thoughts. I mean, who wants to really sleep in that moldy little cave here? I personally don't think that anybody would like to. When we were starting out, this was a good shelter for us, but we are way past that. Way past that. Good. So my personal feeling says that we are really not we're not safe enough here. I don't feel safe enough here. So let's see. We already got a seal the mines lever. I want a seal the fortress lever now too, and we're going to put that down here. But, yeah, I need to deconstruct that bridge one time, because it's not really important, okay? I'm gonna show you in a second why. Good. We got that now down, so let's designate the animal training zone. much larger than necessary. I don't care. Boom. That's all it requires. We have now assigned the training of those dogs, and as soon as somebody has time for it, they will train them into war dogs, which is amazing. There we go. Maybe we can't even see how it happens now. They're definitely doing training now. Beautiful. This will help the fortress tremendously in getting somewhere. Look, they are morphing into war dogs. Beautiful. I was hoping that we could catch that. So yeah, this is a powerful upgrade, and it really doesn't cost you more than that. Things you know about this game. The longer I play Dwarf Fortress, the more little tricks I find, which make many things early on quite trivial. But you know, there's enough ways to make the game hard for us. So I don't want to mutter about that. So we got a nice amount of wood lying around here, and there's only 3 more wheelbarrows lying on the stockpile. We're going to order 10 more of these. Yeah, I know. But, you know, judging from my plans, I know that I will require them, because we're not stopping here. We're definitely not stopping here. No migrants this season. How dare you to be so cruel. Damn. So, our friends from the mountain home, they really take their time, don't they? But we're not gonna fret until then. We're going to do something monumental. We're going to use our anvil to produce a new anvil. This is Dwarven Cell Division, basically, you know. Jokes aside, I want to have more metalsmiths' forges, and since we have such an abundance of iron here, I really want to make good use of that. And I also think that, well, we haven't hauled much of the stuff here yet. So, well, Corrude Singed Ink wants to join us. So, Mr. Singed Ink, what's the matter with you? You're a human, alright. You belong to the Unions of Jester. Okay, let's check out who the Unions of Jester are. Are you probably... well... it's hard to tell where this guy comes from. Well, we could use a bard. Why not? So, more tetrahedrite. This fortress has such a wealth of tetrahedrite. It's everywhere. We're literally building through it. It's almost a nuisance. There's so much there is of it. Wait a sec, I already bought so many anvils? Yeah, alright, never mind. I guess it was a good thing to make one myself. Oh boy, I must have bought these from one of the caravans. Silly old me. Well, anyways, it doesn't matter that much. This way we're going to crank it up like that, because I am, well, if you think this is much or over the top, no. When we are kicking this whole operation fully into gear, we will be actually using all that. I already know how long it can take to forge out an entire set of gear for a full squad if you don't have legendary metalsmiths hanging around left and right. So this really pays off to have that. Alright, so we have some animals growing into stray dogs. Hey, what the timing. So we're going to have a lot of war dogs here in this fortress. I like the idea of that, don't you? Alright, so I think this, at this very moment, was the last time that we were playing with only 18, well, 19 people now. The new human bard has been the 19th person joining us. I think somewhere across the passing of the next year, the fortress will fill with people more than we actually might expect or want to handle right now. So I am already considering that we better be carving out a new staircase here, so we can start carving out a new city district. I think we can add in new apartments south of here, but I think it won't hurt to think ahead of that and already get us a new citizens district just like that, you know? Since it does take so darn long for us to get new people here, we are going to pass us the time with things like these. Because, you know, we seem to have really, really diligent miners, so we might as well already dig out the basics for our upcoming citizen district down here. Alrighty, friends, that's the end for today's episode. I'm pretty sure that starting from the next episode, well, the chasm begins here already. Starting from the next episode, we're going to see much more people here in Shinmistum, and then the engines of war will slowly start to creak into motion, because I want to spend not more time than necessary before we start producing gear and all the things that we need to defend ourselves and cleanse these lands. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. It's been a lot of jolly old fortress building here, and I think, yeah, I'm really happy with what I did here so far. The new workshop areas look fine. We really got a lot of space to work with. The forges are the smallest, have seen the smallest upgrade. Here, this is just wonderful. We have wheelbarrows for the entire thing, and the cistern is coming along nicely as well. So, drop me your comments down below. I always love to hear from you folks, and as usual, leave a thumbs up on that episode. Your help goes a long way, and consider subscribing. It would be my pleasure to have you. Apart from that, there is a playlist link down there to all the Savage Lands episodes that I've made so far. So if you want to start the story of this place from the beginning and see the story of Gulf Cobalt, the fortress that came before this one, be my guest and check them out. Besides that, have a wonderful day and see you next time.